Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect, as well as posting notices in the Barrow Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Maryville School, Reliant Bingham School, Grace Downing School, and the Runnemede Public School District website. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, board members.
Mrs. Dare?
Here.
Ms. Beebe?
Here.
Mr. Buckheim?
Here.
Ms. Davidson?
Here.
Mr. Lego?
Here.
Mr. Murray?
Here.
Ms. Panzarella? Ms. Sams?
Here.
Ms. Spalding?
Here.
You have a quorum?
Also present, Mark Iannucci, Superintendent. Sean McCarron, Business Administrator, Supervisor of Curriculum Instruction. Jade Yezi, Principal, Bingham Downing School. Steve Peterly, Principal, Volt School. Phil Silva, Vice Principal, Volt School. I did not see Gladys.
That's Marie.
Marie is here. Frank Hines, Supervisor of Building and Grounds.
Holy announcement.
And our board solicitor is also with us this evening. Thank you. Approval of minutes. We got you. I need a motion to approve regular and executive meeting minutes on July 17th, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting and executive board meeting for July 17th. Second.
Motion made by Patty, seconded by Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Sams?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Financial report for the period ending June 2018 preliminary and July 2018. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Maria, seconded by Chaz. I have a question. Why does it say preliminary next to June?
Because our audit has not been 100% finalized,
Okay,
so we always keep that open for journal entries
okay,
that we get from the auditors. So as soon as we have a final one, that'll be there, but we're still able to open up our new budget year
okay.
and roll into July.
I don't remember it ever saying that before, so that's why.
We're trying to be technical.
Gotcha.
since Things are being looked at a little bit more
Sure,
closely
great.
for things that are wrong.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Ms. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Sams?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes. Ms. Spalding, did you second that motion?
Jen.
I had Chaz,
Chaz.
Marie, and Chaz. We can. Oh, right now? Okay, so, we're gonna do things a little different than, listed on the agenda, just so we don't waste anybody's time. Mr. Hines, Mr. Iannucci tells me you're up first.
You're gonna give a quick, brief, very brief, Frank, snapshot of work ending, finishing, because we're not quite done yet, as you can smell and see when you come into the buildings. You wanna give us an update, maybe probably on the kitchen, probably most important.
The kitchen, we're running along pretty good with that. The roll-up doors were put in today. The inspection for the above ceiling will be next week. The table, there's one table that we have to wait for, but Yuri's giving us a spare one to use, just so we can get everything up and running.
It's a prep
And-
table, right?
What's that?
Prep
Yeah, it's a prep table. The combi ovens are in, the ice machine's in, most of the plumbing, electrical work's done. All the floors have been done and they're out. We got most of them all prepped. Bingham and Downing are pretty much ready to go. We just gotta go back and straighten them up and everything. But for the most part, we're moving along pretty good and we should be right on time.
You're an artist, I hear.
Yes, you gotta, yeah, I wanted that government knowledge. If you take a look what Frank did in there, I was, no offense, Frank, I was highly impressed at what he told me to do. And if you want it any time before, after, during the meeting, if you want to walk in, the wall you can't see is actually painted green for a backdrop for Green Street, which we're doing more video for the kids and for a lot of reasons.
So instead of carrying a cloth around all over the place, we made it a stationary setting. So then that way, Mr. Benoit and the kids and all can do all their videoing and everything.
And also, there's flexible seating. Again, you can't see it in there, and there's new tables coming, so it's pretty new floor. It's going to be pretty much a new computer lab for the kids today who use computers for everything.
Anything else, Frank?
No, I think we're moving along pretty good. We're working on, Bray went out today, we're pressure washing our bird sanctuary over here. We got new netting and all, so we can, you know, get that all cleaned up. We're gonna repaint it and everything and make that nice. And,
So they think that they'll be done for when our students arrive on the 6th for, to be able to cook for them?
yeah, the first 2 days we're gonna be, I think we're doing pizza.
Right, I
Just to, you know, try to get everybody acclimated to everything. And then, we'll definitely have everything ready. So, we just gotta, you know, double check, Ethan's checking with the Board of Health to make sure they get out here to do their inspections, and, the borough's been working with us, you know, to get everything done, so, moving along pretty good.
And they realize it's been a priority to get it done, obviously,
Yeah.
the first week in September, like that, kids coming back to be function. So,
Yeah.
yes?
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks,
Frank.
Okay, no problem.
Hey, your work is appreciated since I've seen so much of it lately, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
We're actually gonna skip round to new business, item B, personnel, because we have many people here that are just here to be introduced. So instead of going into executive first, Dr. McCarron will do just personnel, then we'll flip back to your, to the agenda. So there is number 23 added, actually, if you guys want to note down. Number 23 will be Blair Bechtelheimer as a middle school special education math teacher at step 1, BA. So that's middle school special education math. So I will need a motion to approve items numbers 1 through 23 under personnel.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Maria. Second by Dan. I have a quick question. It's probably for the principals. So number 22 is just because it's changing on a daily basis. They anticipated that you just need some more that you didn't get yet. So we're just gonna say, go ahead and hire and then officially approve them on September 18th.
Correct, there's still some meetings that are being held over the
Okay.
next few weeks that we anticipate meetings.
Some more.
Yes,
Okay.
We also had a reservation as of
yeah.
Today,
11
of
o'clock
course.
this morning.
Yeah.
You know how it works. Just so you know, if you need us, we can come in again next
Okay.
week one time. I'm sure we can get 5 of us that come in and have a quorum for a special meeting.
Okay,
We just need 48 hours notice for the public. If that need comes up, we
Okay.
can do that. We can do that for you if you need it.
thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question on number 19, please. The sports physicals, is this during the summertime hours, or is this during the school year, the extra money paid for the school nurse?
Miss Kerslake came in, Phil, was it last Tuesday?
Last Wednesday.
And we'd like to bring her in so that she can look over physicals, make sure the kids have all the appropriate documentation to participate for state law.
Okay.
So she comes in and she reviews all them, and then her and Phil work together to make sure any kids who need anything have a couple of days to get it done, and any kids who are good to go.
Thank you, okay, thank you.
Mr. Peeling, Mrs. Jazzy, would you mind maybe introducing? Oh, yeah, after we.
Sorry.
I lost track.
Any other questions? All right, roll call.
Ms. Adair,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim,
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella,
Yes.
Ms. Samms,
Yes.
Ms. Spalding.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr.
Congratulations, everyone.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. Mr. Good?
Sure, I'll go first. All right, you can read there the positions, but I guess I'll state them anyway. Karen Ganone is going to be a part-time secretary. Wade, you don't have to get up and tell them. She's going to be a regular face, as she'll be in the main office with us. Patricia Reed is going to be an instructional aide in the front there. Samantha Vito has actually been with us in a source role, and she did so well that we were able to bring her on full-time, so we're looking forward to having her. Amber Paul, also in the front there, instructional aide. Denise Nacella, excuse me, is an instructional aide. And then, of course, Blair, who was added late. I apologize for that, Blair, but you are official now. So welcome, welcome everybody, congratulations, and I thank the board for the support with all of our new people.
Have a great year.
Welcome, everyone.
I didn't forget anybody, right? For Gold?
Oh my gosh.
Ron Pucciarelli, who I know well, is going to be in the lunchroom, right, Sean? I apologize. Well,
The new lunchroom.
Yes.
New lunchroom, yes, I'm excited.
For bingo, we don't have any new hires for down there at this time. We have Stephanie Freeman here tonight as an instructional aide. And I also have two, which I don't think are here this evening. I think they had some vacation plans, which is Mario Vitola and Danny Lee Mendez. So we're really excited to bring them on our team at bingo. Look forward to a good year.
Welcome.
Thank you, welcome, everyone.
Welcome, Ms. Wilson. In case you don't feel welcome here.
Congratulations. We hope you love Runnemede as much as we do.
If there's any paperwork things you can do, I know we have a couple of ladies in the office right now that help you fill out anything that needs to be complete or whatever. They're waiting for you if you need it.
The reason why we did that is because we're going into executive session now, and we didn't want you to have to wait half hour, 45 minutes. Marie likes to talk a lot, maybe an hour of your time. So, we're going to go into executive session at this time, so that's why we kind of jumped around a little bit. So congratulations again to all of you. I need a motion to go into executive.
I make a motion to go into executive session at this time at 6:15.
I need a second.
I'll second.
And this, all in favor for executive session?
Aye.
Yes, Angel? All right, I'm gonna read Barbie, yes, we're all going in, okay.
I'm not.
Whereas while the Center Byron M. Bayer Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12 requires all meetings of the Runnemede School District Board of Education to be held in public, NJSA 10:4-12B sets forth 9 types of matters that may lawfully be discussed in executive session without the public being permitted to attend. And whereas the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education has deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempted from the public. And whereas the 9 exemptions to public meetings set forth in NJSA 10:4-12B are listed below, and next to each exception is a box within which the number of issues to be privately discussed that fall within that exception shall be written. And after each exception is a space for additional information that will disclose as much information about the decision as possible without undermining the purpose of the exemption shall be written. Now therefore be it resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will go into closed session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10:4-12B. Any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation in which the public body is or may become a party. Any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer. More specifically, the construction bid withdrawal. We will also go into executive for any matter involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, terms and conditions of employment, evaluations of the performance, promotion or discipline of any specific prospective public officer or employee or current public officer or employee, employed or appointed by the public body, unless all individual employees or appointees whose right could be adversely affected request in writing that such matter or matters be discussed at a public meeting. More specifically, this CSA contract and organizational structure. Whereas the length of the executive session is undetermined, however, the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will make every attempt to estimate the time of session prior to convening the session, after which the public meeting shall reconvene at approximately 6:50 p.m. and the Runnemede School District Board of Education will proceed with business. Now therefore be resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will go into executive session for only the above stated reasons. Be it further resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforementioned subjects may be made public at a time when the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education attorney advises that the disclosure of the discussion will not detrimentally affect any right, interest, or duty of the school district or any other entity with respect to said discussion. Be it further resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education, for the aforementioned reason, hereby declares that the public is excluded from the portion of the meeting during which the above discussion shall take place, and hereby directs the board secretary to take the appropriate action to effectuate the terms of this resolution. Be it further resolved that the that the board secretary on the next business day following this meeting shall furnish a copy of this resolution to any member of the public who requests one at the fees allowed by NJSA 47:1A. Action on any item may or may not be taken in open session at the conclusion of the executive session. And we are all in favor of going into executive session, so at this time, we need the public to. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Good night.
Someone
You're on.
going here? I apologize.
We trying to ask a question there today when we have ordinance.
Before we establish our 18-19 goals, school district and board, we just want to review some of the 17-18 goals from this year. Again, these were approved last year at the August meeting. The action steps and the goals, and then the evidence has been presented to you in the right-hand column. And obviously, it's not all of them. And Maria, you love these. Dancing through some of this stuff, but I'm not keeping that.
Is this data?
There's some data involved, Maria. There is some data involved. But obviously, curriculum instruction, we're obviously trying to monitor student learning as much as we can. We're always modifying this curriculum. Thank you, Mr. Herman. Safe travels back up north. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. And always use that data to identify achievement gaps in our curriculum instruction. How do we do that? We use our PARC scores, we use our Renaissance Learning, we use our Star Reader and our Star Math scores to do that. Our intervention specialists that we have in all three buildings meet every 8 weeks. They cycle kids in. So if the students identified with needs in our RTI program, we always are reviewing that data to make sure that they're hitting their goals. If they're not, they're put back in the program, and we give as much intervention services as we can. Sometimes kids grow, light years in those 8 weeks. Sometimes kids will take a little bit longer, but we're seeing some great gains with that. Obviously, our first years identified incoming kindergarten students in our Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions. Most of those are done in the classroom, if I'm not mistaken, Mrs. Heavy. And then our Tier 3 students are then pulled for a little more intense instruction with one of our RTI teachers. Any questions on goal 1? You have all the evidence there, so I don't want to bore you and read the thing off. If you have any questions, please see that. Obviously, goal 2 was our Go Green, and we are pleased to announce that we were recognized in all 3 buildings. I think I sent the board, I know we posted some information on the website, that we were recognized as bronze level certification. It was in our 5-year plan. We were recognized in year 2. It's a very arduous and prolonged application process. We did everything in year 1, and we just missed it on a couple points. When you reapply, you basically have to do the entire application again and supply all your evidence. And it's a different person scoring those, or reading those applications. So you might, what I thought would be fine and acceptable, the person who saw it the next year might think differently, but we're happy to get the bronze level certification. So and we'll always look to enhance that, and the next level would be silver, and obviously ultimately gold, like just like we do the Olympics. So we will sit. Obviously, we're always increasing our paperless initiative. We did not bring the amounts of paper this year to show you how much we saved. That's another thing we've done a lot of eliminating. And this is killing Dr. McCarron right now, having all these papers right now.
Oh, well.
Some of us still like the paper, we like to hold it, but we're going to still do that. We streamline a lot of our things. And again, it's difficult for some of us, but it is the future, and it is helping us in more ways than one. Sometimes we send stuff to parents' phones. It's a lot better communication than sending home the announcement that my 11-year-old would never show me coming out of his folder. I'm sure we have the same problems. So we are going to continue that sustainable school application process. And you'll see that in our next year's goals as well. The neighborhood cleanup, the third grade students did a great job. That's another thing, involving the kids in the community for doing different things. I know we talked to some council members and the green team members of getting kids involved, and they had a great, time doing those things. The book swap is another great thing for our community school, or our green initiative. Instead of throwing books out or anything like that, changing it, we have a little book vestibule and color, those kids can take a book and bring a book and things like that. It really does a great job. In our character education, obviously, we've been doing bucket filler activities the last couple of years in Bingham and Downing schools. I know they're branching off on some of those activities they've been doing, so things don't get stale. We were, I believe in March, Mr. Silva, we were recognized as a school of character, which is a very great accomplishment, and we're happy to have that. And this year, you'll see in our goals for next year, we want to have all 3 buildings recognized by the state as schools of character. I'm hoping to achieve that. Our junior Hawks camp, we were able to do that. If you do see that in the character ed piece, getting those kindergarten students in for a week, last week? And I see like the kids, good, right? Yeah, go ahead. The helicopter, was that the, and even that wasn't really our thing, the helicopter, I think, made a great week for the kids. But that was a great thing to do. Introducing those kids, I know a couple of activities that I saw them doing, they were doing some of the green activities as well. Try to start them early, so I thank those teachers for that. And the last one, about the parent, on the same page. The big communication, I know one of our goals last year was to amp up the amount of communication we had. We utilized a real-time platform. We were able to send out the text messages and the emails, as well as the blasts. We really, again, I'm not on Facebook, but we like to add a lot of stuff to our Facebook page to keep people informed. But we really utilized those blasts this year through real time. We continue to use them. I also have local organizations. I know RYA, you're probably sick of hearing soccer registration Thursday night at the field house. But I know speaking to Mrs. Peshik from RYA, they're going to help boost their participation in fall soccer. And I know the baseball, we sent some out for them as well. And we'd love to continue to do that for them as well in the future. I know the PTA also, if they ask us to send something out, please. Can't see Mrs. Freeman back there when she's there. If you have anything, please line it up. I know some school districts don't allow outside school entities to use those blasts. I don't really care because it's helping kids in our school district to get that information out, so we appreciate that. And obviously, we're always exploring new ways. We're able to use the Missy has used it for spring conferences. What was it called? Canyon? Online scheduler for parent-teacher conferences, rather than sending home the paperwork and waiting for things to return. The secretaries having set up the Canyon schedule allows parents to go online and pick the times. It opens up and say 8 a.m. on September 1st. That's not the dates, I'm just throwing out. And then you can set up, it's like first come, first serve. So if you want that 2 o'clock appointment, or you want that 7 o'clock appointment, it allows the teachers to see who they have coming, but also allows the parents to get that first come, first serve. So we're going to do that. We're going to launch that coming up, and we'll see. We'll talk about it a little bit in the 18 goals. We're going to use that for all 3 buildings this year. It's not very difficult. It's easy to navigate. I think we have a tutorial. We're going to Mr. Benoit do another one, a video tutorial for parents, and we'll walk you through it. So it shouldn't be an issue. Good. Now you want to do 18, 19 school goals, or do you want to do the school? I'll keep school goals 18, 19. I'll try to go a little bit quicker. This year for curriculum instruction, we're going to try something new, and you'll see some stuff highlighted. I'm going to ask the principals and Dr. McCarron to add some things in. Lesson plans identify a central focus. And what a central focus is you just try to accomplish beyond listing skills. It's more beyond objectives and standards with what teachers are doing.
I'm sorry. they're flipping through looking for it, but we don't
Oh,
have
I'm
it.
sorry.
He didn't print it.
Good job.
So we just announced it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ionucci.
So the central focus is going to allow our teachers and administrators to see those focus standards and concepts. It's kind of taking lesson planning more into the 21st century. I don't know if you're doing that at Blackbird Spike or not. It's just not listing, the kids going to use scissors and, glue to do the activity. It's actually aligning with the standards of what they do. We're also going to be facilitating some PLCs that focus on specific building and content areas. And then the CISD starts up a book club coming up in September with some of the members of her staff. It is open. It's also open to administrative staff. I know I haven't received my copy yet, so I guess I'll be reading it over Labor Day weekend. But I believe they're doing comprehension, collections, which helps reading-based strategies for younger students and understanding some of those things. Flexible seating.
I gave it up, sorry. They made me sit on the
Well, they gave up
flexible
for
seating for the
flexible
first
seating.
hour.
It allows our students to have options on where they want to sit in the class, not just a traditional seat and desk. Also, they're more comfortable. It's also encouraging collaboration. It's also helping students with sensory issues and gives a little bit of sensory input.
I got a kid that needs a chair.
I know we talked about doing some tours of the different buildings this year as a board. I'd love to show you, I know one of our teachers over at Downing School, you probably wouldn't think it was a regular classroom because their basically entire classroom is flexible seating. I don't think I'd fit any of the areas, 6'3", but more of our teachers at all levels are doing that. So you're not only going to see it in the elementary, you'll see over here in the 4th and 5th grade, there's a lot more going on. I know the high school uses it a lot, and it's just great for the kids. So we're looking to expand those things. Lost my train of thought. Obviously, one of the issues we recognize over here at the middle school level is increasing our interventions in math. We have a lot of interventions for our language arts students who are struggling. We didn't have as much as for our math, so I know Mr. Silva, who has an extensive math background, has been working with the teachers since last spring, and he's going to go some things over summer to identify those kids struggling in math and figure out how ways we can help them. And please, if you guys want to chime in at any time, you can do that. We're also looking to identify subgroups that are in need. That's for extra support and mentoring, whether it's for academic issues, it could be for social, emotional issues. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we're looking to expand those things. I know we have, some buddy systems at our elementary levels with, 3rd graders helping kindergarten. If you've ever come here, you'll see a lot of our 7th and 8th graders working with our preschool students. They love going in there to read or to help the teacher with activities or crafts. We have a long lunch period for our kids at the middle school level, so it's an opportunity they can go eat. They can go in there and help them, but it kind of buddies them up with kids who might need a little help. And it encourages them to come to school, especially the kids who struggle to come to school. It's encouraging they know if they're going to meet with, Mr. Buckheim every Tuesday because he's going to help them as a reading buddy. So we're excited about this program.
I golf on Tuesday.
You can bring it out there. You need a caddy. That's good. In our character education, we plan on adding assemblies. I know the PTA met with our administration today, but we're also not only going to rely on PTA to give us some guidance in those areas, but also, Dr. McCarron has one set up for October. Professional wrestling?
What's his name?
What's his name?
Hulk Hogan. I don't know. What's his name?
Mark your calendars, will be coming out.
Yes, I believe it's October 17th. But obviously, we're trying to engage our students in high interest and valuable experiences in this character education. You're going to hear a lot about social, emotional development. I know Mrs. Yedley sent me an email later tonight from a company called Sanford Harmony, I believe, which deals a lot with working with kids and basically applying the knowledge and skills necessary to understand and manage your emotions and how to deal with things. We get kids nowadays, I know, especially people with young kids, who see what they're coming to us with, and they don't know how to handle those situations. So we're going to be stressing a lot of that. We're going to kind of weave that into curriculum. And also having, I know Ms. Hubbard runs a lot of parent nights of handling students with special needs. Not only are they open for our special needs population, but that's general education. Students are invited as well. So you're going to see a lot more of that stuff happen this year. And also we're looking to investigate outreach programs for our students to participate in throughout the community. I know last year they got involved with the Rotary Run, where they helped out. Sometimes it's tough to get those young kids to help out, but they did a great job, whether it's, setting up a table or passing out water or doing things like that. Again, with the green team, I know there's always a cleanup, there's always a collection, there's always some good things out there that we're looking to increase. Obviously, in communication, we're going to continue to use our technology to streamline that information and get that out to you. We're also going to hold our regular meetings for, whether it's for district evaluation committee, it's our homeschool council, other stakeholder groups. I've already had a couple of meetings just this summer with either the police department, spoken to the mayor a couple of times, and how we can kind of get more resources involved. Spoken to some people in Camden regarding child services to help us out. Parents don't know a lot about programs that they're offered. There's a lot offered to people, and we've been trying to promote it. Sometimes we bridge the gap, and if they don't want to make the phone call, we'll help them make the phone call. Or if they don't want somebody to come out to their home, they can use the school as a safe place that they can come to, and we won't have to do that. So, again, if there's things you know about out there, we're always receptive to ideas for community outreach. And then, obviously, district volunteers and mentor initiatives. We love having people in the building that they can come in. I know the bookmates, if you're at elementary school, we have a lot of retired people who come and read. I think it's almost every day, basically. It's like there's somebody in there. And that's a great program. The kids love it. If there's other volunteer activities, we get them through community service-based projects. I know our Honor Society students are required to do a certain amount of hours. So we're looking to increase those things as well. Is that him all? Good to go? Now I'll try to pick up the pace for district goals for 17-18. I'm not going to spend too much time on them because we already saw some of those things for the school goals. Back to the yellow pieces of paper. Again, we use our benchmark scores and data to show our student growth. We obviously are very proud to recognize that National School of Character. That was a lot of work that was implemented into the curriculum. And that's basically all three buildings where we're looking to improve those things. Property, transportation, and finance, always looking at ways to not only save money, but to generate money. The great thing this year has been providing transportation for our kids every day. Having the buses has been a great benefit. Again, we had the one large bus, 54 passenger, another 52 and 24. We're able to use that for our students. We're also contracted out through other local schools. If they need a homeless run or they need something like that, it works out great. Black Horse Pike we've used with them. Some weekend trips. That's going very well for that. For 18-19 school year, we talked about a little bit last spring of changing that time for preschoolers. I'm sorry it doesn't work for everybody's timing, but it's going to allow us to provide transportation to our after-school activities. And again, we talked about the audits for the past 3 years have been very positive and limited recommendations. For personnel, we obviously try to do a lot of job-embedded stuff using our staff for professional development, whether it be through grade level meetings or a turnkey workshops and professional development things they've been to. That just allows us those opportunities for our staff to model. Last year was mindfulness, I know was big, schools. This year's going to be a little more that social, emotional thing. We'll talk about it a little bit. And obviously policy and public relation. We're very happy with the sustainable schools from last year. But we want to also educate more of our stakeholders moving forward in what it is important to be a sustainable school. Sometimes people don't know what that is, so we try to explain it to them. We'll have some, are they sending some banners out from Karen for that? I believe there is. We're looking into, do we have to pay for banners? Are they recycled? They might be recycled. So again, our green team did a great job. You met some of those teachers that worked on all those applications. They hate being out of the classroom to pull them for a committee meeting or send them to Trenton. They did it anyway because they love their classroom so much. But they did a great job of getting those green and sustainable practices in place, and we're going to keep building on that. And obviously, we talked about security, and we continue. next year to work with the architect to increase security all three buildings and review our security procedures. This led us into, we're gonna have a school resource officer for this year. Hopefully at all three buildings. I believe for the most of it, Officer Brooks, which we're excited. We've met with him on 2 different occasions so far this summer. Not really sure what the job's gonna look like all the time, but he's gonna kind of work with us and help us with what his job's gonna be. He'll be based out of Volts for most of the time. In the early morning, he'll be here, arrival, dismissal. We'll be monitoring doors, monitoring entries. They'll have access to our camera system. He'll be advising us with our security procedures and drills, and so we're excited to have him. He'll also be at the elementary schools on a consistent basis. I know he's excited to read some books to those young students that have been involved. He will be, not in a full police uniform, but he will be in khakis and golf shirt. So we're excited to have that. And Mr. Murray was helpful in securing some of that with the borough. We're excited to have him. So that was 17, 18 in a snapshot, and I will dance through, I promise, our district goals for 18, 19. For new HIV guidelines are coming out, so we have to not only review, but we have to revise some of our current procedures. It's going to take some of the onus of investigating every single HIV claim, which is good. We're trying to educate our students the difference between bullying and conflict, try to educate our parents to do the same thing. So that's one of our focuses. Also, we're looking to expand our preschool program, our pre-K-4 program moving forward. Sorry, Maria, I can do it in a document if you want me to, or personally. But last week, Dr. McCarron and I went to Trenton for a preschool expansion meeting. It's a very competitive race to see who the state's going to give the money to. We've already begun this submission for the application process. It's due September 10th. We're not going to try to. It's very intense though, what you have to fill out, and even though they told us back in August, early August, it's not going to be competitive. We went to the meeting last week, they said, oh, it's going to be competitive. So, but we're excited about it, but everything moves quickly, and again, we're in the infancy stages of this, so we would be adding some classrooms this January to this building, so some current buildings, we have our super current classrooms have to be retrofit into the preschool. There's certain specifications, like they have to have a bathroom that they can use. They can sit on the toilet if they have to, instead of an adult one. So we have to do some moves, but we know that stuff by October if we were picked. And then we would slowly grow our preschool, pre-K-4 expansion. It would be full day. It would be a full day program.
Can't wait. It's gotta be by next year.
And then, not only would we be looking for space here in our facilities here at Volts School, we could also look out in the community if there's any classroom space, whether it be current preschool providers or if it's any other places you can think of. That would,
Let's rent a trailer or something. Let's get it.
want to add anything for that?
Just anything you need.
No, so right now, as Mark said, we're going to grant together, so we'll know by the end of September whether or not, and you'll see under finance, the board is approving submission of preschool expansion grants that we're able to submit for that, but that would be fantastic for the community, for the students.
Absolutely.
Maria's going to be our chair.
The community would love that.
We're also looking into a junior ROTC program. I know Black Horse Pike. You do Air Force, correct?
It's new this year, it's at Highland.
Okay, I believe it's Air Force. And the Army and the Marines are pretty locked up, so there's a waiting list, I think, for that. But we're going to also apply for that for the junior ROTC program to provide that for some of our students. What's that?
I got a few years
I was
to
going to say, you'll put them in that already? I think these are hard work.
Not just kidding, Ryan.
And again, we haven't submitted the application, just got the phone with the lady yesterday from the state regarding that, so we're still trying to get some information on how we can apply for that. That would not be this year, that would be for year down the line.
That's good.
Excuse me, is that a grant you have to apply for to get money to fund the ROTC?
We'd have to fund a little bit of it, from what I understand, and we have to provide, obviously, an instructor for that. but there's also some opportunities where the government actually
Okay.
provides some assistance.
Usually to start it up, whenever you go to the first year, they'll pay 50% of the salary.
Yeah.
And then it drops like 10%, goes over 5 years down to nothing.
Any questions about that?
Can I say something on that?
Sure.
With ours, we run a 5-year waiting list, and they come and look at your building, and they tell you if your building could even hold the program, because you have to have a place for all the equipment, a place for that instructor and the other instructions. So, and then it depends what branches are looking to move forward with it. So we may have a good chance because of Blackbird Plain, we would feed into that program.
Right.
So it might be a good thing for them. But they'll, once they approve the permits, and let you know where you fall.
For property, transportation, and finance, obviously, we're trying to provide modern and state-of-the-art classrooms. The two classrooms you're gonna see behind you, obviously, they're summer mode right now, but they're gonna look totally different with that maker space. If you were down at the school boards convention last year, you saw some of the opportunities that we did down there. That's what that design is gonna be. We're always looking to increase the use of technology in the classroom for the students and the teachers. Our Chromebook initiative has gone very well. It's a lot of effort, a lot of work. I know the kids enjoy it, and so do teachers. We're going to enhance our school security camera systems to increase not only perimeter security, but also inside the building as well, upgrading some of those cameras. Those cameras, in some of the buildings that are vaulted by as old as when I was principal, vice principal years ago. So we've had people in all summer doing some upgrades to that to help us out. And obviously, the school resource officer is going to be a big addition to our security enhancement. I was able to go to that school safety training specialist, and they will be implementing some new procedures as far as evacuations and lockdowns that have been recommended. The teachers will roll their eyes because it seems like it changes every 2 or 3 years, but we just do what they tell us to do, the recommendations. It's, all for the good and all for the positive. We're doing a couple of evacuations coming up in October in all 3 buildings. And also hopefully getting the state in here to do some lockdowns so they can see what we're doing. Usually right, they always give some recommendations. We haven't been monitored by the state yet as far as our lockdown security procedures, but they basically show up one day and say, we're going to observe your lockdown procedures. And they're not here to, knock or anything, it's just to give you their professional advice. Obviously, before and after care has been very beneficial for us, generating revenue, as well as our transportation. As Frank told you, our kitchen operation will hopefully be in full swing come September 6th, I think it will be. The first 2 days might be pizza for the kids, but I don't think they're going to complain. They seem to like the pizza. But again, there's permits and certificates that we need to operate. Department of Health, as I told you earlier, to get those things done. We're hoping to generate, obviously, some revenue from that, being able to provide our own food service, which is good. Upgrading the flooring, HVAC, and lighting in all 3 schools will continue throughout the year. We also have some other projects going on. There were some doors. A lot of doors are in elementary school. I don't know the technical term.
We will be getting upgraded to be fire-rated doors.
Fire, let's forget. Currently, they're not. So we'll have some crews coming in. They won't be disrupting the school day, but they'll be working that second and third shift. They'll come in after students and teachers leave. So it'll be up to date on some of these things. Personnel, obviously, we're looking to enhance some of our professional practices and our instructional strategies to focus on student achievement. We're also looking to, I know myself and the administrative team, conduct some communication training sessions for our admin team and supervisors, for the parents, to get our faces out there a little more, and to bridge that gap if there's any concerns that they might have, that they can openly come to us. So that's definitely a goal that we want to see through. I'm always open for suggestions from not only the board, from the community, how we can do that. We also want to continue recognizing our individual staff members for the great things they do on a day-to-day basis. I know Teachers of the Year, and Staff Members of the Year was very well received. They still thank us for that. And they say they're not thanking me for anything. We thank them for all the services they give. So hopefully that gets some people excited about it. And recognize those staff members again towards the end of the year. And obviously for policy and public relations, we're updating our school security plans, that we have to do. We revise that every year. Providing prevention programs and activities related to weapons and drugs, including the safe and drug-free school grant programs. Right now, we do have the officers coming in through the 5th grade, but we'd like to expand some of the things that we can do with our students and community. In this day and age of school violence, we want to make sure that everybody's aware. And identifying those students who need help, and put some policies in place there. And then obviously expand our existing partnerships with public social service agencies to communicate more effectively with these organizations and our families. And then expanding our relationship with the borough and local organizations so we can promote some of the great things we have, not only in this school district, but in this town. So I feel like I'm speaking to it. Audience and excitement. I apologize for boring with some of those goals. I just wanted to show you some of the things that we did last year and some of the things we continue to do this year. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. If not, I'll sit down and continue to do.
I have one question. You're talking about security. Is there any issues with vandalism in any schools at any time?
We always have occasional vandalism. This year we had the most recent thing, by the buses, and some students tried to jimmy the bus open. I mean, the bus is always, I should say something. The bus is always open, I think. You can't lock it. But it was deterred because they couldn't get in the cabin. But there's some minor vandalism that's done on occasion. The last major thing we had was the generator a couple years ago in the back here. Some students one day in the summer decided to jump up on the cameras. Yeah, we went to do a project on the camera, and we were able to identify 2 or 3 of the students and help the police department, and then they, press charge against those individuals.
We got restitution.
Yeah, they do. But it's pretty good. And the cameras have helped a lot. We use them, if there is an issue. All right. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Board goals, yeah. Okay. You should have in your yellow papers, you should have the board goals from last year.
So we had 4 last year: communication, member education, sustainable schools, and safety and security. So you can see the action steps that we had created, and then evidence. Does anybody have any questions on that? So,
You're saying where people come to meet and greets.
Yeah.
well, the meet and greets didn't work, but again, we tried, so that's all we can do is try. What we need to do is, so we had communication, we tried to have people come out to school board meetings, it didn't really work. We updated our faces on the website, we tried to do different things. And then each one of us took initiative to participate in more credits and training, and that was successful, for sure. I mean, multiple people got certifications and awards this year sitting on this board. Sustainable schools, we have bronze, so that was successful. And thank you for the board members who are part of that, because I know I'm not, so thank you for your time and effort and concern. And safety and security, I think we did a ton there too, because we are updating everything and we got the school resource officer that we wanted.
And I think we're getting bids or got bids for changing the entrances. That's gonna happen.
Hopefully,
Yes.
yes. eventually, I mean, we wanted to happen this summer, but obviously with
sure.
the issue we talked about earlier, with the bid, yeah, that will be happening as well.
But we're moving in the right
But
direction.
some of those changes, some of those security changes are in place for the
Mhm.
next week, the school sales.
So then, does anybody have any questions on 17-18 goals? If not, we need to establish some goals for the 18-19 school year.
Those are last year's, I'm gonna fill in what the new ones are. So I
Okay.
just put that as a block and then I'll fill in.
So this is what I had emailed the board to say if you had any, like, anything that you wanted to make, an agenda for us, or to continue any of these, so. Anybody have any ideas?
I have, under goal 4, are we going in order of 1, 2, 3?
Oh, it doesn't matter, we can do whatever.
Okay. Under goal 4 for communications, I really like the idea of having the, using social media.
We're on board goals, Naomi, communication is number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, that's the school goals, the district goals, we're currently working on board goals.
Thank you, okay.
So you're good, you're on.
So 1.
So number 1, so you are in order, yes.
Under communication, I really like the idea of using social media, Facebook, to get out to the parents and grandparents that aren't in the schools, that might be in another state, as to what's going on at Bolton, Bingham, Downey. I really like that. So that's something I think we should continue to do. I don't know how to word that, but I really think
Well, that's a
that-
school, that's a district goal, that's what our admin team already has that on. And I know from being at both of the back-to-school nights, like, it's always pushed on everything that's sent out.
Right.
You know, like us, like our Facebook page.
Maybe,
So-
maybe the board could the board have our own page to communicate things like, the meet and greet that we had.
Like,
Something
create
like
a
that.
Runnemede Board of Education Facebook page.
Something, like, I don't know specifically, but just something to get our information
But they
out
did,
there.
but anything that you ever wanna get out, you could ask Mr. Iannucci, and Mr. Iannucci will get it out, or he'll make sure it gets out, because he does not like Facebook. Like, pictures, anything that you ever want, you can utilize that as well. I can tell you right now that it's as simple as sending a text and it's up within 5 minutes, because I've texted Mrs. Yezi before, Dr. McCarron before, Mr. Peely before. No offense, I know you don't do Facebook, I usually go around him, and it's up there within,
So I'd just like to increase our maybe activity on that, just for
our
some-
board activity.
Yes, our board activity.
Like, you know, like when we get them awards, you want me to take a picture of you and stuff? Put you up there?
Well, I'm a very private person, but, I mean, that's something that's good, that's a goal that's happening in our district.
Sure, we'll put it in. Dr. McCarron, write that up. Karen, get that.
Not necessarily me, just things that the board's doing to,
So when you've gotten awards and things, like as a board, those have on.
That's what I said, they were.
That are friends
On
of
Facebook.
Runnemede. You know, like, because there's people who don't see, if you're not a parent or a grandparent, you might not
See that.
So that's what we were talking after that communication thing we went to.
Yes.
How do we get it to the other stakeholders in the community?
What are
But
some
that's
other
not a
pages
board.
involved in town? 'Cause I'm not really sure, besides.
There's a Runnemede, there's a Borough of Runnemede page. I grew up in good old Runnemede page.
There is a county on it, you're right.
Yes, that's what it's called.
There's a
There's a,
But that's what we were saying.
no, but there's a Borough of Runnymede.
I'm
Facebook page.
We were saying how to get it there,
And,
but
there is
I don't think
a
it's really
concerned
we wanted
citizens
to.
of
You don't wanna be on
Runnymede.
that one. Right.
The shared circles of ours.
Yes,
And-
yes.
How you share
And
it.
you can go on, like when you, I think all of us, if you have social media and you like it, you can share it too, because then it reaches everyone
Everyone on your
page too.
Yeah, like when they'll post something,
Runnymede
share
PTA.
it.
she can share with your grandparents.
Well, you can share it with everybody, so
Right.
then anybody sees it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not any, it's sad.
So if you can think of any other pages that you can just let Mr. Iannucci know. Because what they're saying is when we went to that meeting the other day, it was all about communications and how we can keep our stakeholders informed You know, like, how can we get all the wonderful things that we do, like, to the Runson House? Like,
That's what I thought the
they
meeting
have,
would
they,
have.
you know,
They had a
they-
huge list of other stakeholders.
yeah, we can bring that in next meeting, I should have brought
Yeah, I
that.
know.
With about 1,200
I have it.
followers.
2 copies at home.
Remember that yellow paper?
So-
Yeah, no, we should bring that in next time.
Yes.
But I think, we've discussed, having some stakeholders, inviting them, specifically inviting them, sending letters of invitation to the board meetings, that we're having presentations for all the wonderful things the kids are doing and the staff are doing. Like our student recognition, like inviting either the women's club, the Rotary in to see us.
Good, so there's 2.
So that would be a suggestion on how to get them more involved.
Well, now it's part of our goal, so now we have to do it.
Okay.
What else?
I had one on the communication.
Go ahead.
You all have a copy of it. To promote effective and open communications between the board and the administrative team throughout the school year. And the action steps will be continue weekly updates between the CSA and the board members in an effort to keep both sides abreast of what's occurring throughout the district. Board members that are contacted by parents or guardians with concerns will direct these parents or these guardians to the appropriate administrator. When a concern surfaces from the community, it will be shared with the CSA so that he and the appropriate administrative team members can investigate, assess, and take the necessary action to correct any concerns.
Can we abbreviate that?
Can you dumb me that down a little bit?
We don't have to dummy it down, because I feel like we all do that. Weekly updates from CSA, and maybe like, what you're asking for is if there's anything in the buildings, you know, continue to ask the admin team to invite us and keep us informed of anything going on. Like if there's a 5th grade dare graduation, we would stop up to that. We don't always necessarily know about that, especially our board members who don't have children or in the district anymore.
So maybe that vulnerable one should say.
I know,
Something more.
Mrs. Sechinger, like we had said this before, she'll always invite us to stuff, and it's just nice to get an invitation to the little 3rd grade show, even if you can't make it. Some of us can. Anything else under communication?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that okay, the last one, right, or do you want it revised in any way?
So you, what's up, so our,
Weekly updates,
Yeah, yeah.
communication with CSA, direct all concerns CSA to address.
It's short and sweet,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Then the goal needs to say communication, to promote communication and involvement between board, community, and administration.
Yeah.
Is that,
Mhm.
need that administration in there?
That's fine. Can anyone think of anything else there?
I have a question. Is
Yes.
it not, is it too much to ask, or would board members have an interest? This year, it will apply to me. I will be, again, I will have a child in the district. But I know for a lot of the board members don't. For like the last that are coming out, would it be out of line to ask for the board members?
No, they can sign up for it.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know it was an option. I just feel like sometimes people would say things and
I'm sure they'll be very excited about getting 17 emails about RYA fall registration and stuff.
Ready to volunteer to coach?
Who?
I did that already, thank you.
I have one more. if
Go ahead.
that's okay. How many do you?
No, you can put as many as you want, Naomi.
Okay.
As long as, let's,
I think it's attainable. I think this is
okay.
attainable.
Well, yeah, even if it's not, we'll try our best.
I have friends on other boards and I get ideas from them at some of the county meetings.
Sure.
What they do is, school calendar is published and they have a list of all the events that are going on. And they ask their board members to sign up in advance, like 8th grade dance, like graduation, like, 3rd grade,
I'm in charge of 3 dances this year. You wanna come to them with me?
I don't know if they have the T
Because
anymore.
my kid can't even go to them. I'm just doing it because I don't.
It depends on work schedule.
Our 3-year-old
But just
preschool
to,
is allowed to go to the
just to
dance.
have a list, sign up sheet of what, if you can't
So
go.
we can word it like this, not to cut you off. Attend 3 school functions.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we can take
Attend 3
turns.
school functions. I might attend a different 3, you might attend a different 3.
Yes, that's what I'm
Our
saying.
retired people can go during the day, but we can't.
Back to school night, that kind of.
They are.
There's a straight back. There's 3 back to school.
Yeah,
nights.
absolutely.
Well, the back to school night's always listed on the calendar, it always has been, so you
Right.
have that
I'm
already.
just making it, an
I like
idea
that.
of.
Do you think that 3 is sustainable?
Yes.
Before she said it publicly.
3 is sustainable?
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Before she said that, he's like, I wanna go to more school events.
But if we had a list ahead of time, we could plan,
The number 11.
for them.
Yes.
Like the back to school part.
Yes.
Yes, the back, well, Mr. Iannucci has a list of announcements for good of order, and I read it, sorry, over his shoulder, and it's there, so.
But that's kind of like a need to break too.
Member education.
Okay.
So member education, go ahead, Dan.
I think that's fine, we can just continue with the.
5
You
credits.
like that?
I do, I think it kind of focuses, it focused me to try to do a little extra. And I think it's a good thing.
Great.
Sean, do you know how close we are for all of us attaining that certification we got?
I can pull.
Delegate assembly that Maria's coming with me, that's it.
Are we close?
I can pull the transcript.
You do? For your
I do
second.
too.
Because I wonder how close we are to being would that be a certified?
Certified board.
Board, right?
Certified board.
For the whole board.
Well, Dennis and Dan and Barbie are well on their way. They're way better than we were about that.
So if they're close, I wonder.
It's not that close. They need to get 20 credits. They'd have to do a bunch of stuff this upcoming workshop.
Okay, so maybe.
But which they will, but they will. But they've been to county meetings and they have to go to delegate assembly.
I've
I don't
been
think
telling
that's
you.
because I did the training online. You can just go to it.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Don't make it in person.
You could do it at the conference. Well, wait, I don't know.
In person and it doesn't see in your badge. And you
Do
do
it
it
for like
online.
3 conference online.
But I saw for governance, they were only on the conference, governance 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
My badge is coming.
I think that's what it's.
Somebody mandated to get out of the way, just again.
So I support what Dan's saying. I think by us earning at least 5 credits each year, I'd love to see this entire board certified.
Orange County meetings are credit, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They're very
Barriers to
regular.
prevent private self. Your death health.
I just went online and was doing that. It was like, I really don't.
Get them focused.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, how about on the third goal? Sustainable, guys? Sustainable schools?
Real quick, I was just gonna say even about the functions, like you guys are welcome anytime to come to our schools. It doesn't even have to be an event, you know, I mean, let's just say you have off on the day or whatever you're driving by, I mean, by all means, there's special things happening every day. You might even wanna see every day in addition to a function. So I just wanted to tell you, you know, just put it out there. I'm sure you already know that, but really it's a great place to be on any given day. So it doesn't have to be a 3rd grade event or a team. Those are lovely too. But I mean, really, if you just come through, you will be very happy with what you see on any given day. So that's my informal invitation. And I know the secretaries, I'm sure they put so much on our calendar too. Like Sue and Pat are always like, you know, I make sure the calendar's updated. I'm sure you're driving yourself crazy over it.
Google
There is plenty of stuff, but it's just a regular Tuesday morning.
Get alerts all the time, right?
Is that on the regular calendar though, Jane?
Like if you go to, I know for mine, like you go to Sangamon and Dowling, and most of it's the same between my 2 schools, but if you just click on it on our little webpage, it'll give you like the time, like if we were doing like the science fair or something, it'll be real specific. You know, sometimes like it just comes up because we're all busy, you know, but it might be a spontaneous day.
So like June 19th, 9:15 was the egg drop.
Yeah, like you can see, it really gives you play-by-play. The secretary spends so much time updating that. Yes, on the schools.
On to that
Yeah,
school.
That's
Okay.
Yeah. So I just didn't want that to be overlooked. It really gives you a play-by-play, and every day I feel like we're doing something, but it could be just your average day too, so.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, under sustainable, I have a,
Go for it.
and I don't know if it's attainable that quick, but here's my suggestion, if it's, and you would know, Sean, I'm sitting with the committee regularly, to attain the next level of certification, which would be silver in 3 years. Is that a realistic approach for the board to support whatever initiative has to take for us to get to the next certification?
So the only thing I'm gonna say is I haven't sat down with the full committee yet since our last submission.
Sure.
So usually once we submit and we get our feedback we receive that feedback, we sit down and we find out what we need to do. So remember in June, when I gave you the breakdown of what areas we were close with, where we were going? We'll do the same thing with the areas that we did not see credit for, and then find out if we can work towards that. But some of the places for points could be like building completely 100% green.
Wasn't that
So
on
if
the
you have a
district
new
goals?
facility, so we're continuing to work towards those areas, but I just wanna see, can I earn enough points to get to the silver? And what would that take within the 3
So what,
years?
if we worded it 5 years, because that's what we do with.
So we'll continually
Bronze.
push forward, like
Push forward
any
to silver
decision,
certification.
make decisions that push towards earning silver. I just don't wanna give you a yes or no chance without fully going through
Okay,
the
that's
points
fair.
that we've missed at this time.
Okay.
They can't take the bronze away, can they?
No. After we got the letter, I'm keeping it, I'm hanging it from my walls.
And plus, that is in 2 separate board goals for school goals for 18-19. It's under curriculum instruction. We don't have these in front of us. It says further develop Go Green practices and environmental literacy into our instruction. That's under curriculum. And then they have it under policy and public relations as well to continue to. Actually, maybe that, we could just do that. When you look at 18-19 school goals, you have a lot about, but you don't have anything here, so maybe we can just put another marker in there about sustainability.
Where do you have it?
I'm at 18-19. School goals go down, go down, down, down.
No, keep,
I'm under policy and public relations. See how you have a bunch of stuff there, you have it on the side, but then if you look at the stuff, it's all about like security. There's nothing there about like continuing, you see? Drugs and community projects, Runnemede Police, Borough of Runnemede, we need something in there about sustainable schools. Yes? Does anybody else have any, go ahead,
Rewind.
yes.
We had discussed, and I don't know if it was, a couple of us had discussed potentially holding our meetings at the other schools, like
Schools.
Bingham and Downing.
Yes.
So that, like, just to increase participation, like Blackbird Life does it.
That would go under goal number 1, I think.
That's what I'm
right?
saying, I said rewind, goal number 1, communication.
I like that.
Because, listen, we discussed that, but he needs to say something publicly. I don't know if we're allowed to do it, but it's a great idea if we are. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, could we go to somewhere else, like the Rumson House, and have a meeting there and incorporate some of the
freeholders do
seniors
it.
there? And just hold a meeting there one month.
Their state.
I don't know if there's a great benefit to it, but it would be pretty cool for the seniors, I think. I don't know, just trying to get us out there.
Just at different groups or different locations.
The person you had to contact, her name is Miss Masanova.
Yeah.
That
at
runs
the
that
Rumson
facility.
House.
But I don't know, are we allowed to
I don't know,
do that?
I have to look into it.
Yeah.
Also, but
Just
we
an
can do it
idea.
at the other schools.
Well, the other schools, we
Other
definitely
schools,
should
for
know
sure,
about.
yeah, for sure.
Because think about it, if you could put it out that your school board was meeting at Bingham this month.
That's not that big a deal, Dr. McCarron. Look, he's like, he,
No, we just have to advertise.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying, like. Don't you feel like some of those parents, do you feel like some of those parents would come up to it, you know what I mean? Because, I was that parent that came to every meeting before I was a board member, because I had issues with things, but I just feel like sometimes it's an intimidation factor, like they might think, am I allowed to go to that? So like a special, you know, like put it out. It gives, first of all, it gives the board exposure to the other locations, but it also invites the,
Oh, yeah, 20.
what?
Yeah. Down.
What? Yeah,
I
sure,
don't think I knew. That's good.
if possible.
I think the
If
other schools
if
would be
permitted.
very
I think
cool.
that follows, but that falls fine. We'll get various locations.
Because you could absolutely, yeah.
Sounds specific.
Oh, I was looking at function, like school, all 3 schools would go up.
Do you think like some of the new parents might be a little, I know they know they're welcome to come to school board meetings, but like unless you hear, like I started coming because I heard somebody I didn't love. So this invites them before they're, you know, like it says, right? It says, like if Mrs. Yazzie could put out and say, oh, the local, you know, our local school board is meeting at our school tonight. How many more parents could potentially come out, even if it's just for that one meeting? It still gives us community exposure.
They can get there, if they live on that side.
And then they can post it on the Facebook and we look cool because we moved.
It's a great idea.
You
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
we really care about looking cool.
Listen.
And so do we
Well,
wanna
focus
keep
was
on
original, dude.
about, school safety and security? Because we do have some things that we want to still have to get done. I mean, we were moving in the right direction, but we still have things that we wanna do.
We want to modernize our entrances at all three buildings.
Say it again.
Are we keeping the sustainable one?
No, because we have it in the schools. So this will be our third goal. We added a fourth goal, last year, but we usually, before that, would only have three.
Right.
We added a fourth one this year.
Then you start.
This year.
Like she's like that right after.
So these,
You did? You were.
I'll tell you how. Can I tell you guys, I'll show you how in a minute. If you give me a minute, let's just do this last goal, and then I'll show you how. Because I actually will show you like all together, right here. So for safety and security, Dan, it says, continue to enhance safety and security for district facilities, continue to work with architect, superintendent, building principals, and administration to enhance or to
Enhance,
modernize,
improve,
reinforce.
security at the entrances of all three schools.
Anything else?
Do we need to upgrade any of our policies regarding safety and security?
Those all, that's.
That's all coming down, that all comes right from,
The state?
yeah, like Strauss Esme, we're always on top of that.
Okay.
We're constantly doing that.
And we have to listen to like what comes to us from like the police and the county and, you know, like they said, they just pop in and tell us like things we do well and things we need to improve on.
Okay,
And it always changes.
sure.
We have in the past reviewed some of like the lockdown drills and that, so should we put that in there, that maybe through the new SRO that's going to be here, we have incorporated a handful more officers the day of a lockdown drill, so we have more eyes out and maybe get
Sure.
some more feedback.
That's a great
And I'm sure
goal.
Chief will be fine with that.
Yep. Say it again. So we're going, go ahead, reach out
I
to,
heard that, I'm like.
Yeah, maybe have
utilize the SRO to involve more first responders during lockdowns or during school safety, school security drills.
We've done it.
They started in December.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
and with Howard here, it'll be something else to be said. Yeah.
You told me six.
Wait for something after this.
All right, so real quick, before we move on, so, since this is a board goal, just so you guys know, so if you go to NJSBA, New Jersey School Board Association.org, and you click on it, you have to create a login. I'm gonna show you it. So if you go on it right now, you hit login, and you put your Runnemede Schools address, like create an account. I created it under my Runnemede Schools account. And I think I know the password, probably not. I just wanted to show, people were wondering,
It's the same way.
there it is, I know the password. So so then it comes up and you have an account and you go to my account. So hold on, I'll log up my account. And actually sometimes it does take a minute. And I check this often because as you know, Naomi and I waited like 3 years for our 10-year certificate. So they do not, and some of other board members who've been the board member longer than us, 22 years, have never received something. And you had board members on your board there this year when we were at the luncheon, by the way. So anyway, and then it comes out my account and it says your name and your address and your, right, and then it has like evaluation and has all of your upcoming meetings. If you go to the left, Dennis, real quick, if you look at this, if you go to the left and you hit transcripts, right, and you hit on it, it'll show you everything that you have done and what you've achieved credit for. So I went to the academy in June '06. So this tells me everything that I've received credit for, everything that since, and it'll actually keep going. So it'll tell you how many credits you have, and that's for every county meeting, every workshop, every delegate assembly, every regional training that we go to, it'll all be there. And if you want to know what you need for certifications, right above transcripts is certifications. And that'll tell you what you need and how to get it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Terry Lewis, because I reached out to her for Naomi and I, because I saw this thing on here that says in 2017, milestone award status received, and I didn't know what it was, so I reached out and she said, you were a board member for 10 years. I said, well, that's a year late, and then it took another year to get a pin. So transcripts and certifications, so make an account and all of your stuff will link up there. Does anybody have any questions about that? Dan, did you get that?
I got it.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good tutorial.
So do we have anything else that we have to talk about with district, board goals, anything else, school goals? We're good? Ms. Ryanucci, you're good? All the board members are good?
Yes.
Dr. McFerrin, you're good? All right. So we did speak, I got it. We did speak on, about the correspondence that we received from Sustainable Schools, and you'll keep us posted on that banner. I also wanted to say that we got something from New Jersey School Board Association, asking Naomi if she would continue to be on the State Finance Committee. She's been on it for the past 2 years, so they are asking her to be on it from September 2018 to May 2022. Oh, 2020 also. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and for doing that for us. And we wish you the best. Try. You know how I feel about extra meetings, right, Chad?
Yes,
Yes. That's only twice a year. But congratulations, Naomi, thanks. At this time, we're open for public comment on any agenda item. Does anyone have any public comment on anything on the agenda at this time? No? Okay. Superintendent's report, do you have anything for us? No? All right, that will resume in September. Same thing, business administrator?
Resume in September.
All right, and all of the rest of the reports will also resume in September. PTA, anything you need to talk to us about?
No, we're good.
We're good, okay. The board committee, personnel committee is going to meet in the next week or so with Ms. Ryanucci, and you have my word that after we meet, I will update you.
Chaz, I can't make it, can you go for me? No, I'm just kidding.
Camden County Ed Services Commission?
I did not go to the last meeting because I was at the hospital, my wife was having surgery. I did notify them 2 weeks in advance, so I did not make that meeting. However, I was at the planning zoning board meeting, and the only thing I really have to report is that they passed 2 variances, one in reference to a garage expansion, one in reference to the layout of a fence on a property. One important thing did come up, I'll share with everyone here that is here, the public also, is that they have been going through over a year now redevelopment ideas for trying to bring more life back to the Black Horse Pike businesses, and hopefully new businesses coming in. There will be a public hearing either September or October. My guess, if I was a gambling guy, it's going to be October. Prior to that hearing, there will be letters will be personally sent out to everyone that lives on the Black Horse Pike, from the Turnpike to Evesham Road, certified letters. And the thing I want to point out too is they're not going to be using any domain legalities to take property from people. If they wanted to add some parking lots or put in some kind of a business, if someone lives on the Black Horse Pike, they have the final say as to what they're going to do with the property. but they want to try and do some redevelopment, and that will be open to the public to ask any questions that they have about the direction that this redevelopment is going in. So they're being very transparent about it, and they're not going to take any steps that would harm anyone that owns property along the pipe, but they are hoping to make some positive changes on that area. That was it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
New Jersey School Boards, anything else?
I have one thing. I also serve as the Camden County representative for the Board of Directors. Each county has a representative. And the next meeting is September 14th. It's a Friday evening and they serve dinner. I'm unable to go. Is there anybody that might be willing to go in my behalf? The meetings are paperless, so they send you the agenda ahead of time. So if you're interested in doing that, you would not be able to have any voting rights, but you would be able to speak if you have an idea or a question. You could not vote though on anything. It's in Trenton, at the
Headquarters, right?
headquarters in Trenton, State Street. It's a Friday evening, September 14th at 6 o'clock is dinner, and then they have, the meeting starts at 7 p.m.
Naomi did ask me, but
So
it's
just,
my
you know,
40th
just think
birthday
about it,
weekend,
look at
so
your
I said no.
schedules. Yeah, look at your schedules and see what you know.
So if anyone can go, check your schedules and reach
Yeah.
out to Naomi directly, yes?
Let me know, yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? If not, we can move on to new business. Under property and transportation, I need a motion to approve items number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve item 1.
Use of facility, motion made by Maria,
I'll second it.
seconded by Angel. Roll call.
Mrs. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Samms?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So we already approved personnel, items 1 to 23. On to finance, I need a motion to approve items numbers 1,
I'll make that
all of
motion.
them to 18. There was some addendums.
Yeah.
Make sure you look at number 15, 16, 17, 18. I need a motion from 1 to 18.
I'll make that motion.
So I need a second. Seconded by Dan. Any questions? I have a question. I need clarification on number 15, Dr. McCarron.
Standard operating procedures
Yes.
is a manual that we keep within the business office.
Okay,
It
you don't have
pretty
to go
much-
anything further then.
That's a CUSAC.
Yeah, I thought that
regulation.
you meant like daily responsibilities when you said like operating procedures. So if it's just a manual then.
What protocols we follow,
Gotcha.
handling different.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
Quick question.
Yes.
Is that any increase for number 17 or is that the same?
Same.
With number 17, if we were to apply for sustainable schools, if we were to apply for preschool expansion and we were to receive it, we would be funded for both our full-day program and our half-day program.
Oh my God.
So tuition would not be able to be charged if we received that funding.
We're gonna wait till.
However, you won't receive any funding if all you do is run a half-day program. You have to show expansion in some way, which is why that's the direction we're going in.
So let me ask you a question. So say that happens in January, does that just starts in January? Like they're not going to be reimbursed?
So there would be, up through January, there would be no reimbursements. If they paid through past January
Then you
already,
give them back, yeah, they like
they
pay
would
for the
get the
year.
money back.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
But there's a lot ahead of that, so we just need to see if we're even given the funding or.
Sure, no, yeah,
and then
we understand.
We'll lay out everything once we.
But we
know
also
what-
are very confident, Mr. Iannucci and you, that you're not gonna let anyone else beat you in that heat.
Absolutely not. No, you won't.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Scholarship for 3-year-olds.
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Samms?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under curriculum, I need a motion for numbers 1 through 3.
Make a motion for items 1 through 3 on the curriculum.
Second.
Motion by Maria, seconded by Patty. Any questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckner.
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella,
Yes.
Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Ms. Spalding.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So we have new policies under policy and public relation. The first reading, need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Angel,
I'll second it.
seconded by Chaz. Any questions on the policies? Roll call.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckner.
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella,
Yes.
Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Ms. Spalding.
Yes.
Motion passes.
At this time, we are open for public comment from any citizen or staff. Anybody have any public comment at this time? All right, if not, I ask, we see there that our next regularly scheduled board meeting is September 18th.
And the barbecue is
Yeah.
September.
So Mr. Iannucci, if you want to get out your pens or your calendar, he's going to give us some other dates that are coming up in the next couple of weeks.
September 4th, we have a barbecue, which will be 5 and 7 here at both school. September 6th,
Wait.
Rewind.
September 4th is the, I'm gonna send you an email tomorrow with all this stuff, just to,
It'll be a flyer.
the back to school barbecue is 5 to 7 here at Bolton, September 4th.
What's the time?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, thank you.
Oh, poor Mrs. Wilson rushed so bad to get out of the rain this year, that's all I remember.
September 6th is our first
This
day,
guy
it's a
went
full day for students.
Lacking about 3
On the
hamburgers.
6th, the week of back to school nights, the week of September 10th.
And there was looking at people.
September 18th, there's a parent workshop, Ms. Hubbard, correct? We're still in plan with that, right?
That's the same night as the board meeting, that's okay? We can move. We'll
No.
move for you.
Well, I plan to have a meeting every month, like a
Right.
parent support group right before the board meeting. So
Oh,
maybe
you're
you'll
doing
get
it on
some parents.
purpose.
What a
So maybe
good
you'll
idea.
get some parents, I'll see some back.
Thank you.
Nice, see?
Listen, they're very beneficial, it's not just, it's open to everyone, correct?
Regional.
Everyone, I've come to two, and I learned something at both.
Yeah. That's for sure. October 17th is the family event.
The kids come.
Excuse me, I have his name.
Family
Chris
event?
Hollyfield,
Chris Hollifield.
I say his nickname,
Yeah.
Little Boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
That's gonna be held here at 5:30, October 17th. At 5:30. Families are invited, there's a light dinner, it's a great presentation, I believe the kids see him.
He'll be at all 3 schools during the day.
Wrestler, Mr. Summer.
He might, I don't know. Just say.
Take them down. No work with God, though, we don't want to hear. Can you make sure that they know what schools are what for the back to school night? Does anyone have anything else?
What did you say, back to school night, the 10th, the week of the 10th?
The week of the 10th.
10th and 11th. It will be specific in an email from Mr. Iannucci.
It's on the school.
And it's on the school calendar, on the website.
Thank you, I will check it out.
Yes.
All information has been sent to
And
parents.
scholarship.
They should have received that last week, they received an email from me, and they also received some things from the principals, and this week we'll be receiving all their real-time information. I think we're all updated on that. I've only had one parent who in the district who alerted me that he didn't receive an email, but that's been taken care of.
A couple people said they couldn't open the PDF,
If they try to open up on their phone.
but on their
that
phone,
doesn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah, I screenshotted it for you. Sent it to you.
Sometimes if your phone,
Yeah.
just the updates on it, stuff like
Yeah.
that, it won't go through.
All right, so then barbecue is on the 4th, if everyone can make it. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make
Patty made a motion to adjourn. Maria seconded, all in favor? Ayes have it, meeting adjourned.